Alisa is 18 years old. She lives with narcolepsy and cataplexy. She was 12 when she first began to have symptoms and 15 when she was diagnosed. I asked Alisa to briefly describe how she lives with narcolepsy. Her response was that she's proud to say that she's healthy at this point in life. However, living with narcolepsy presents its challenges such as the need for frequent afternoon naps and the struggle to cope with night terrors and disrupted sleep. These night terrors have a profound impact on my perception of reality and how I interact with others. Although I am aware that they are not real, the intense emotions I experience during these episodes persist even after waking up, affecting my daily life. I do try to stay strong and suppress these feelings, but it seems to exacerbate the situation during the night. I don't experience sleep attacks as often now that I'm taking medication, but when they do happen, I find them a bit embarrassing and exhausting during these episodes. I often hallucinate and struggle to stay awake, especially when I'm on transport or in a quiet, dull environment. I asked Alisa, what is something positive about having narcolepsy? She responded, before being diagnosed with type 1 narcolepsy, I discovered that sleep became my coping mechanism. While there aren't many positives about having narcolepsy, this is one aspect that stands out, as it helped me deal with certain issues. During these moments, sleep served as a source of comfort. I then asked Alisa, is there a change that you would like to see happen for people living with narcolepsy in Australia? Her response was that there are many changes that I'd like the Australian government and health officials to consider. First is the recognition and diagnosis of people with type 1 or type 2 narcolepsy. The Education Department should consider informing teachers about narcolepsy awareness because no one knows about it. They should be able to recognise the symptoms, respond appropriately, inform the parents, and collaborate with health professionals and educate other students on narcolepsy awareness. From her personal experience, all of her teachers were aware of her sleeping habit, but not one considered taking any action, and by the time she informed them, it was too late. Secondly, general practitioners should begin conducting sleep tests for patients exhibiting symptoms of narcolepsy. Her GP suspected an iron deficiency and prescribed iron supplements while also conducting blood tests. However, when the results came back normal, he suggested further testing. Without my mother's insistence on a sleep test, I may not have been diagnosed with type 1 narcolepsy. Thirdly, it's absurd that narcolepsy is not recognised as a disability in Australia due to various reasons, especially when it comes to medication. I tried several medications that caused severe side effects but did not help me with my narcolepsy and cataplexy symptoms. It is sad when the only medication that is proven to be effective in managing my narcolepsy costs $1,200 every 2 weeks. This is especially difficult when your choices are restricted and you're unable to afford such an expense. The government needs to consider narcolepsy as a disability so the required medications are more accessible and affordable for those who need them most. What needs to be reconsidered is how difficult treating narcolepsy can be and how severe the side effects can be when you have to try different medications only for them to have no effect. One thing I want people to understand is what is cataplexy and how it affects those who experience it. Cataplexy involves a sudden loss of muscle tone, as I like to describe it, seizure, while remaining conscious of one's surroundings. I asked Alisa to name one thing she wished others knew or understood about having narcolepsy, and she responded, imagine a life without laughter, where you can't experience that joyous feeling of being genuinely happy. That was my reality for a while. Cataplexy attacks are triggered by strong emotions, particularly laughter in my case, and these attacks were so severe that I would have them nearly every hour of the day. The fear of experiencing a cataplexy attack from something as simple as laughter led me to distance myself from my family and anything that brought me joy, which eventually caused my depression. It is hard for anyone who hasn't experienced cataplexy to truly grasp the impact it has on one's life. The feeling of not being able to laugh freely, to have that laughter held back in your chest, is an indescribable and isolating experience. I asked Alisa to name one thing she wished others knew or understood about having narcolepsy. It's something that can only be understood by someone who has gone through it themselves. My hope is that by sharing my story, more people can become aware of this condition and the challenges it presents, leading to greater empathy and support. By sharing our stories and providing accurate information, we are helping to increase public awareness of narcolepsy.